What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Juice Opinions. It's been a little bit. Missed last week's Juices Loose podcast. I was traveling to Denver, Colorado, which I'll talk about my experience taking my Switch with me on a trip. But before I get into that, I'm just going to do quick impressions. Shadow of the Colossus remake on PS4. Picked that up when I got back Thursday. And I played, I think I beat 5 or 6 of the Colossi. And just want to give everybody, just some impressions for those that have played the original and, the PS3 HD version, which barely looked HD. They really did a good job maintaining the feel of the original game. That was something I wasn't expecting, but it even carried over the flaws of the controls of the original. I'm not talking about the button layout. I'm talking about the way the character moves and, just some of the quirks associated with that game. And they found a way to bring that over to this game. So now if you're a purist and you played the original, you're probably like, like I am, like it feels right at home. But I'm just going to say caution to anyone who hasn't played the original. If you have a PS4, it does feel a little dated, especially going back to, I played Breath of the Wild immediately after my first play session, where I beat 3 Colossi in my first, couple of, maybe hour or so into the remake. And I turned my Switch on to play Rocket League, and I had Zelda already booted up, so I just jumped into that real quick, thinking, I want to go right from the Shadow of the Colossus remake, visual style, and beauty of that game, go right into Breath of the Wild and see how it feels. And immediately it was a perfect, like, sunny, like high noon, sunny, clear day on my, where I left off on Zelda. So it was just like Zelda looked even more amazing than I remembered. I was expecting it to maybe look a little less impressive coming from Shadow of the Colossus, but actually it almost made Zelda look better, because I was expecting it to be less. And then controlling the horse in Zelda was way more intuitive, responsive. It felt way better. So, like I said, Shadow of the Colossus is very true to the original, and even with the flaws. So some of the more annoying parts are the weird wonky animations of the main character, and sometimes that leads to falling off of some a cliff or edge, or missing a jump, and then having to hold the whatever button you choose for the grip. I switch it to R1 or R2, whatever the bumper is on the PS4 controller. I think that might be R2. I'm not as familiar with those names of those buttons. So sometimes if you hold the grip button when there's nothing to grip, your character kind of kneels down, and sometimes you're like, you hit the jump button, nothing happens. Then you hit the R2, I'll say, to grip, but I never jump, so then I kneel, so then I can't jump. So there's just those little quirks. They found a way to carry them over from the original game. So I think somebody who hasn't played those is gonna feel maybe disappointed. For me, the original Shadow of the Colossus back on the PS2 was, it was just jaw-dropping. It left a lasting impression. It's still my favorite PlayStation exclusive I've ever played, based on my, memory. Yeah, it doesn't play as well as, some parts of Horizon Zero Dawn. It doesn't play as well as some parts of Uncharted and Gravity Rush, but it still, to me, it still has that same feel. I know Stitched in the chat saying it lost something. I don't think so there. It feels really, they've captured Shadow of the Colossus for me. The music's great. The scale of the Colossi is impressive. Even more impressive, the camera mode, the photo mode's really cool. I spent a lot of time doing that, and yeah, I mean it's the same game, and it maybe hasn't aged as well in every aspect, but it's a damn fine remake. One of the best remakes. I've only played a couple. I played the Resident Evil remake, the Twin Snakes remake, and I didn't play the Ocarina of Time or Majora's Masks. Those were pretty much remakes. So really, I don't have that much experience with remakes, but I know from what I've seen of the PS3 HD port of Shadow of the Colossus that yeah, that didn't look very HD, and maybe it runs at Sidekick says it run at 60. I don't know about that. I thought they locked it in at 30, but I could be wrong. And I have the base PS4 Slim, so the only option is 30 frames per second, which I don't think that game's kind of a slow pace. My biggest gripe is the horse, and the horse was always my favorite aspect of Shadow of the Colossus, and I was envious and wish Zelda would do that, and it took them this long till 2017 to actually kind of implement those horse mechanics. But going back to it, I don't know. I feel like the original, I had less problem controlling the horse, maybe just because I'd gotten used to it, all the quirks. But with this one, the horse doesn't want to run fast. Maybe that's the 30 frames per second. I don't know. It just feels kind of slow and sluggish, and it's not as good as I remember. And then the other thing is aiming the bow is it's stupid. I mean, the fact they didn't give you a gyro option after Gravity Rush 2 has gyro and Breath of the Wild has gyro. It's a really bad aiming system, and that's one of the things, like I said, they carried over a lot of the mechanics even to a fault from the original game, and I really think they should have improved those. It just feels terrible. The aiming reticle just doesn't line up with where you think it should be. It's really a terrible aiming system, but overall I'm enjoying them. It's a $40 game. It was $33.91 after tax with my Best Buy discount, so it's like, I mean, it was almost a no-brainer. It was really a no-brainer for me. I had to buy it. And so far I'm enjoying it. I'm just gonna probably take on a couple Colossi each time I play, and I'll have it beat probably in not too long. But it's a good game. It's a really good remake. And someone in the chat was talking about Wind Waker. That technically isn't a remake because they just took the same game, and that art style just transitioned that well to HD. So it wasn't built from the ground up. Shadow of the Colossus was, if you watch the documentaries, they started from scratch. So Wind Waker was the core game, and those visuals just translated that well to HD. They had to do some minor texture improvements here and there, but technically not a remake. That's an HD remaster, if you will. So yeah, that's Shadow of the Colossus. So next up, I'm going to talk about taking my Switch on a plane to another state and how that changed the way I look at. Of course, I got to sneeze, so pardon real quick. All right, I'm back. So yeah, I took the Switch with me for the first time really on a trip. Before I had just played it at lunch on work, work lunch breaks, and brought it to my sister's house on Christmas. It wasn't Christmas Day. It was one of the before Christmas events. So I played it on the go, but this was the first time like taking the Switch away from home and, having to take the AC adapter off the dock. I didn't take the dock with me. And I did 2 direct flights from Grand Rapids, Michigan, straight to Denver, and Denver back to Grand Rapids, and then had to drive home from there. But so the flights were 2.5 hours there, 2 hours back, so it wasn't super long. But I did wait till I got on the plane. I didn't play while I was sitting there in the gate, at the airport. So I wanted to I didn't run out of battery life, you know, so I wanted to make sure. But, you know, so I sit down, I got someone on either side of me. I'm cramped with these two guys on either side, and I got no room. So, but I break out the Switch once the plane gets leveled off, and I play Super Mario Odyssey. And the first like minute or so, I felt a little motion sickness from watching a character while I was moving so much. There wasn't much turbulence, but there was a little. That quickly melted away, and next thing I know, this was my second playthrough of Odyssey, so I was on New Donk City. Was that New Donk or no? It was the what is it called? The Lake Kingdom, and then also the Lost Kingdom. That was on the way there. But I was getting every moon I could, and you know, next thing I know, they're talking about we're descending. You know, we're gonna start our descent, and I'm like, holy shit! Like 2 hours just went by. Like, are you kidding me? Or maybe an hour and 45 minutes. Completely forgot I was on a plane. Was just completely engrossed in the game, even though I've already 100%ed it. I'm on my second playthrough, but it was just like I didn't even have time to switch games out. Like it was just that like awesome. And I'm thinking, well, that's cool. So the reason I went to Denver when my brother is having some health issues. He's got pulmonary hypertension, I believe it's called, where the blood pressure in your lungs is higher than your heart. So a lot of your blood's not going not going into his lungs. It's going right back to his heart without getting oxygen. So he can do stuff, but he gets tired and out of breath real quick. You know, and he's getting treated for that. Medication's going to take a while to kick in. So it's going to be, he just needed somebody there when he got out of the hospital, and I helped him clean up his apartment and stuff. He still had his Christmas decorations and up. So I wasn't like just playing my Switch the whole time, you know, but, you know, when it got late, he went to bed and I was tired, pulled the old Switch off. I had it charging and played Resident Evil Revelations 1, played a little Rive, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I was just, you know, finishing up some Affinity and just doing some small things that, you know, like going through that pain in the ass process of drawing blade or core crystals, trying to find another rare blade. I finally got another one. It was a dude, so I think I got 5 left. You know, stuff that's just not, you know, I'm gonna sit down in front of my TV and want to just do it. Like I was doing that while the TV was on, watching Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and then Sunday, you know, watch the Super Bowl. But I focused on that, and then the next day there was a lot of talk after the game, so I was just kind of playing my Switch while listening, and it was just like I got my game collection, my main console, just right here, no hassle. Put it in my case, in my bag, through the freaking scanner at the airport. It was not, I mean, no hassle at all. AC adapters, all I needed to bring, and my Joy-Cons, and here I got my main #1 console with me with all my games, playing them, enjoying them. You know, it's just like without having it, you know, if my brother wanted to watch something, he didn't have to, you know, sit there and watch me play video games. So, I mean, that was great. And Denver was I mean, it was like 40 to 50 degrees. It was 55 degrees the day I left. I come back, it's 18 degrees with 8 inches of snow in my driveway when I got home. But anyway, it turned out to be a pretty good trip and got a lot accomplished, helped my brother out. And then the flight back, because not a lot of people are going to leave Denver to go to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so I had the whole back row of the plane to myself. So I'm sprawled out, again, playing Odyssey. I got to New Donk City during the rainstorm, and I got like 31 moons in the time the plane leveled off till right before we descended. I look out the window, and there was a bit of like I don't know, light clouds below us, and all of a sudden they just were illuminated like as bright as the frickin' daytime. The plane, I could see the side of the plane light up, and I'm like, what the hell? I look out the window, and there's Chicago down there, just massive, just lights everywhere. I was taking video on my camera, and it didn't quite capture what I was seeing with my eye, and it was really cool. So then I put the Switch away. We started our descent and was landed like 10 minutes later. But that ride home was literally the best plane ride I've ever had in my life. Not only was it just 2 hours with no stops, no bullshit, no switching planes, but I again forgot I was on a plane for about an hour. Like I was completely engrossed in my game. I looked out a couple times because it was nighttime, and I seen some really cool, like you could tell there was a lake and there's a bunch of like houses around the lake all lit up, and some of the cool shapes of from the lights of streets and stuff I was seeing. But for about an hour straight, I had forgot I was on a plane. And again, I'm playing a mainline Mario game, top tier, no mobile, no portable version, no DS, 3DS, cutbacks, like full version 3D Mario game. Played a little Zelda on a plane, and it just hit me. Like it hit me on the way out a little bit, but it freaking hit me like so clear. Like you can't go back. Like I cannot go back. I bought the PS4 right before the Switch came out. I don't think I could buy another console that's just tied to my TV. Like sorry, Xbox One. Unless it's $100, maybe. But PS5, Xbox 2, Nintendo's next system, there's no going back. You can't go back to just being tied to a fucking monitor, to a TV, or the pain in the ass of moving a system. I was talking to the guy at Best Buy when I picked up Shadow of the Colossus. He's the one that sold me my Switch, and he remember every time I come in, we have a talk about gaming. And he's like, "What'd you buy today?" And I was like, "I bought something for my PS4." And I'm just like, it feels so weird because, I just to know that I can only play this at home in the living room with the TV on, like that's it. That's the only way I'll be able to play Shadow of the Colossus. And it's like, man, that really sucks. And it's like that's why I said the Switch effect just hit me in full force. Everyone talks about, oh, it'll be great to play Doom and portable. And I'm thinking, no, it won't. Like, who cares? I'm going to be playing on my TV. It'll be great to play this and be able to play this anywhere. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I do that every once in a while. I'll take it to work on lunch break. But now it's like, it's legit. Like, I don't even know why it took so long. It's almost a year later. It took that long to just hit me fully. Like, this shit, there's no going back. There's no other way to say it. There's no way I'll buy a PS5 if it's just a big box tied to my TV. There's no fucking way, period. And I know I've said that about a lot of things and gone back, but you can't do it. So anyway, I was talking to the guy at Best Buy, and I'm like, I'll take the sacrifice on visuals, because I know Retrodust's watching this and he's going to disagree. Mario Odyssey looks fucking phenomenal in portable mode. Phenomenal. I was on Lake Kingdom, Lost Kingdom, and then New Donk City with the rain. Looks phenomenal. There's no debating it. It looks amazing, and it looks great on the TV too. Zelda looks great in portable mode. Xenoblade looks, at times, looks bad, but in other times it looks really good. The menu system all looks clean, easy to read, and it's like Nintendo's got to do it again. But like I was saying, I kind of lost track there. The graphical sacrifice is worth it for what the Switch is. Now that I've taken it away from home and really felt that, that portable, the benefits of the portable mode, like to the full degree, like I'm changed now. Like even if I don't take it off the dock or go anywhere for the next 6 months, it's still gonna be there. Like, how can you go back? I don't know how anybody could go back. I don't know how anybody who bought a Switch and claims it's their second or third console, or it's their number 3 gaming system behind their PC and PlayStation, or their Xbox and PS4. then you haven't had the moment I had. You haven't taken your Switch anywhere. You haven't gone on a trip. And it's like, you don't, because it's gonna be, this might be a little controversial, because there's not all these features and all this nonsense. I think me and T agree on this. I don't need Netflix. I don't need fucking YouTube and stuff on another device. I might occasionally jump on YouTube, and I don't know why I would, but I wouldn't say I rule it out. But the fact that you turn your Switch on, if you don't have an internet connection, it doesn't matter. Nothing changes from the screen you're looking at unless you're trying to play an online game like Splatoon 2 or Rocket League. That's when you're going to feel the missing, like if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection. But the system itself, putting in Mario, playing a game, I didn't even notice there's no difference between when it's connected to the internet and when it isn't. It's just such a seamless it works so seamlessly offline. You can say, well, that's just Nintendo's lack of focus on online, and they don't have any features because of the delay of the online. But at this point, you turn your Switch on without an online connection and you don't even notice. You turn your PS4 on without an internet connection, if you've already installed the game, if it's not brand new, you could play it. But guess what? If it needs to update and you don't have an internet connection, like if I had bought this game and didn't have an internet connection I don't even know if I'd been able to play it. So yeah, that's my experience. The Switch in portable mode, like I've seen the light. So I know I made fun of other people maybe in the past for always saying, well, portable mode, it's a portable version of this, portable version of Skyrim, I'll take it. And now it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I actually wish I had a brand new game to take so that I wasn't just replaying stuff I'd already played. That would have been really cool. So, all right, so we're going to get on to the last thing, and it's good that Terrell's here because he 100% disagrees with me pretty much in every way about my thoughts on Bayonetta 2, other than the price. So Digital Foundry did their analysis, preliminary. Bayonetta 2 on Switch is 720p, 60 portable mode, which it dips down into the 40s frequently, well, during certain scenes, and then it's like a 45 to 50 times at 60. So basically it's a little less than the Wii U version as far as frame rate, but same resolution. And then docked mode, and this is where the lazy part for me comes in. 720p, 60. Yeah, it's locked this time, but are you fucking kidding me? That's all you've done to this game? You're going to charge $60? I'm sorry, Nintendo Platinum. I had higher expectations. This is completely unacceptable in my opinion. Even at $40, if that's all they did, that's still a little lazy, still a little rushed. What's the hurry? I mean, yeah, they got a couple games in March. You got Labo in April, and you got Tropical Freeze in June or May. But 720p docked and portable, right there, that's the same thing Rocket League did. And now, months later, they're bumping docked up to 900p 60 or 1080p 30. So that, maybe they'll do that down the road. But come on, like Mario Kart 8, 720p on the Wii U, 1080p on the Switch. Runs at the same frame rate. Pokken Tournament, 720p 60 on the Wii U, 1080p 60 on the Switch. Higher resolution, same frame rate. Fire Emblem or Hyrule Warriors, 720p, 20 to 30 frames per second on Wii U. On Switch, it's 1080p. We don't know about the resolution. I'm guessing it's going to be 20 to 30 frames per second. Maybe there's a 720p 60 option. I think they would have said that, though. And then Donkey Kong Country, they talked about it's going to be 1080p. I see no way that game's under 60 frames per second. So what does that tell you? And then Lego City, Rayman Legends. Well, that was 1080p 60 anyway, but Lego City got to bump up to 1080p. And instead of going from on Wii U, it was like a 20-25 average at 720p. On Switch, it's 1080p, almost a lock 30. So every game from a Wii U to Switch has not only gotten a higher resolution, but either an equal frame rate with that higher resolution or an improvement to the frame rate with that higher resolution. So why is Bayonetta the same frame rate? Well, the same resolution and just a more consistent frame rate. To me, they didn't take any advantage of the Switch. It's like, oh, we'll just make it run close to the Wii U in portable mode, and that's really all we're going to focus on. There's no other graphical improvements. The Digital Foundry's like, well, they did something different with the shadows. They don't look any better. They almost look worse, in my opinion. So to me, that's just lazy. That's just absolute, let's get this out. We don't have anything in February. And then it's just plain greedy to charge 60 for it. I don't give a shit that Bayonetta 1's coming because that's digital. The Wii U version gave you 2 physical versions for 60, same resolution, and the frame rate isn't that much different. Like, I played Bayonetta 2 63 hours. Yeah, there's some dips here and there. A lot of people think the slowdown is when your fists come out, but that's just the game intentionally, for whatever director's choice, kind of slowing down, pausing, because Digital Foundry's analysis, it doesn't drop minor. It looks like it's dropped because people are like, oh, that's running at 30 to 40, but no, it's running at 60. It's just an intentional thing to make it, and it kind of looks like it pauses here and there, but that's not. So yeah, Bayonetta 1 is digital only on Switch. So you got to have an SD card. I almost guarantee you it's going to be over 10 gigs. So there, if you don't already have an SD card, there's an additional purchase. And the Wii U version gave you the physical version for $60. You got 2 physical discs, same resolution, pretty much same frame rate. Switch is giving you that, but you're taking away the physical version for Bayonetta 1, and now it's digital. And now you got to get an SD card if you don't have one. It's just absolutely, it just pisses me off because Bayonetta 2 is, I had it as my top Wii U game a couple years ago when it came out. But going back and playing Donkey Kong, playing Bayonetta 2, playing Smash, I think Bayonetta 2 might be, 3 or 4 now. 3D World, Tropical Freeze. I think Tropical Freeze might be my favorite Wii U game going back now and playing it. I was playing it just a little bit ago. It's just it's so perfect. I can't say that game isn't worth 60 if you've never played it. Like I said before, I wish it wasn't 60, but if you've never played Tropical Freeze, you have a Switch, you better play that game. It's just such a great game. But anyway, Bayonetta 2 is definitely top 5 best Wii U game. One of my favorite. It's my favorite action game of all time. That's why it's upsetting to me. I would have double dipped. I mean, how much more money, Nintendo, do I got to spend? I got both the amiibos. I got the Wii U version. I got a poster, which you can see. You want me to spend another $60 on some lazy ass effort? Fuck no. And I don't get mad at Nintendo for a lot of stuff, but this to me is one of the worst things they've ever done as far as, bringing an old game back. Usually it's either really cheap or they've done something significant to it, like Wind Waker HD, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Pokken was a little bit borderline. Tropical Freeze, they added a mode that doesn't appeal to me, but still put some effort into it. There's no excuse for it. There's no reason, especially when this is $40. Like I said in my last video, complete remake, looks amazing. It's the best looking PS4 game from art style, from technical perspective. It's just an amazing looking game. They charge 40. Nintendo is winning right now, and when you're winning, you get a little greedy, and you see what you can get away with. and it's only going to hurt the sales of Bayonetta 2. That's the unfortunate thing. Really, that's what, that's probably where most of my disappointment's coming from. I didn't care as much about a resolution bump as, who cares at this point. But when you're charging 60 and you're going to really limit the amount of people are going to play this amazing game, that's what really hurts. So yeah, I don't agree. Tropical Freezes. I mean, they actually developed something. They actually put in effort, whether you agree with the mode or not, whether it's something you're going to use. Somebody had to actually develop and program a new character and play test that, bug test that. And we'll see what the other aspects, like if there's the loading times are cut down significantly, like that right there is a huge improvement, because that was one of the biggest faults of the game. I don't know how the control scheme is going to work for those like Red Knight like to use the Wii Remote Nunchuck. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. But hey, it's going to be 1080. It's going to be, for people that find it too hard, they're going to now have an option to probably get through this game, because it is just an amazing game. And if you don't have the fortitude and if you get frustrated easily with 2D platformers that are difficult, you're not going to enjoy the game. Now you might enjoy the game. So, to me, it's just, I would have liked them to add another world or something instead of put in Funky Kong. But I still would think about getting it. I'm playing through World 2. It still looks beautiful, still plays great on the Wii U, and I'm still thinking man, if it wasn't 60, I'd buy it. I'd buy it again. So I mean, I'm not saying I agree with that being $60, but it's still really, there's a little bit of temptation even at 60. It's still tempting me a little bit. Bayonetta is dead to me on Switch, which sucks, but that's the only one that might get a price drop out of all these. I don't know. We'll see. If they take out Bayonetta 1 and drop Bayonetta 2 to $30 someday on Switch, I might pick it up, and then you could see maybe a patch coming. I don't know. Rocket League found a way to make the Switch version go from 720p to 900p at 60, and then add a 1080p 30 option months later. So I wouldn't want a 30 frames per second option for Bayonetta, but there's no reason that shouldn't be at least a 900p at 60. I just don't understand. So I can't do it. Can't accept it. It's tragic, because I'd love that game to sell 1 million copies on Switch, and there's just no way it's going to. Maybe at 40 it would have. I don't know. Who knows? But the guy at Best Buy didn't even know the game was coming out. So, it's just, they're not really trying to promote it that hard either. So it's like, why? You're not going to put any effort into advertising it. And why the hell is it $60? I just don't understand. So anyway, that's going to be it for that. I'll touch on the whole Bandai Namco Metroid Prime thing real quick. First of all, it's not confirmed. Retrodeath was kind of talking about this in the chat yesterday. It's not confirmed by anybody 100%. Eurogamer basically just found the same thing Doc traded. So I'm not going to sit here and just consider it a fact at this point. But I'm also not going to doubt it at this point. The other option is there's a brand new exclusive first-person shooter coming to the Switch that's not a Metroid Prime. So, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if it wasn't Metroid Prime, just because, hey, there's another first-person shooter exclusive coming to the Switch. Whether it's good or not, we don't know. More than likely, it's probably Metroid Prime 4, It's probably, they're not going to be making it by themselves. Nintendo's going to be right there. It's just basically they're going to be doing the programming, probably doing some concept art and all that, but I really don't care. I don't think it's worth getting mad about. I don't think it's worth debating about, or being 100% certain it's fake. I don't understand that. Just, hey, it's possible. Let's wait till Nintendo says it's confirmed. That's all I got to say. I'm looking forward to it, but because it's been so long, because it's not Retro Studios, You know, I'm not gonna just because it's Metroid Prime 4 in title. I'm gonna wait really till I see the game before I get super excited. You know, like, or super disappointed. Let's wait and see the fucking game. Let's see Nintendo show us the game, show us some gameplay, not a CGI fake trailer. Let's see some gameplay. Who cares who's developing it? Like, it's just so stupid, man. It's just a ridiculous thing to waste all that Twitter time. Maybe because, you know, I had to basically, my brother was near like a day away from death if he hadn't gotten help. That's how bad his lungs and heart condition got. It's a treatable. You'll live a normal life once you treat it. So maybe because of that happening, maybe that's why I'm looking at this as like, this is just so stupid. Like, I was, you know, debates about rumors and leaks on Twitter. I guess, you know, maybe because of that. And in the past, I have gotten caught up in some of that stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. I'll wait till I see the game. I'm thinking E3 could really. I have a strong feeling we're going to see Metroid Prime in some form at E3 this year. So, yeah, and with that, I mean, I got nothing else. Wii U or Switch sales. I said fucking Wii U. Switch sales. We hadn't talked about on the Juices Loose because I missed last week. So we'll probably touch upon that. It's old news at this point, but yeah, I mean, Mario almost at 10 million. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Switch is at probably close to 16 million right now. It's just, I mean, it's good numbers, and I just want to see 2018 turn into something, because right now it's a pretty lackluster 2018 for Nintendo. A bunch of old games from them, from other people, from software. Bunch of old games coming. Kirby looks good artistically. Technically looks beautiful. They went 1080p 30. They really pushed. They pulled a Sony with like Crash Bandicoot and Ratchet and Clank. They really went for the best looking possible, you know, graphics engine and capped it at 30. I don't think that's going to affect that game. I wish Kirby was a game I liked. It's just because it looks so good, and it'd be cool to play. If it was like a more challenging 2D platformer, I'd be all over it. As it stands right now, it's just, yeah, for Kirby fans, I'm happy for you. It's a good looking game, but there's no way I'm buying that. I want the last couple Kirby games I bought and played were just, I couldn't even finish them. I just so bored with no challenge. So there's really nothing calling my name. I thought about maybe the Bayonetta 2 port back before the price was confirmed and the resolution and stuff. Like, there's just, I can't support that. You know, I just can't support a lazy effort on a port. You know, it's coming from a previous generation to a new generation. It's like, that's unacceptable. And then God of War is getting released on the same day as Labo. I think we might have talked about that on the last podcast, but I just couldn't care less for this God of War. Like, it might turn out to be a pretty good game. Like The Last of Us, I was skeptical of, and it turned out to be a good game. It's not a great game, but it's probably my favorite stealth game of all time. And I did get into the story. So, you know, God of War could be something down the road but I don't know. It's not grabbing me. I didn't even watch the last trailer when they announced the release date. Like, I just don't even care. I think Spider-Man might be the only possible game from here on out I buy for the PlayStation 4. And then The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, there's literally maybe 2 games left that I might buy for the PS4 ever. So, as far as like exclusives, I mean, I might pick up Wolfenstein, the remaster, or the remake, the original of this new series, you know, the first one of the new series with Bethesda and stuff. I might pick that up on like the PS4 or my PC, and then before Wolfenstein 2 comes out. So that might be something, but cough Nintendo. Sorry, I got reading the chat. But other than that, like, there's really nothing. And then again, the Switch effect, really, I mean, it just feels so cliche at this point to say it again, like to be tied to your TV, and that's the only way I can play this game I just bought. Like, unless I buy a Vita and then I have a bunch of input lag and bullshit with the remote play, like it's going to be really hard for me to ever buy a non-hybrid system moving forward. And I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if the PS5 isn't a hybrid. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. And yeah, so everybody have a good night. And I'm probably going to play, I might play a little Rocket League or something here after I get off. But oh yeah, and this, I forgot about the online. We'll talk about that on the Juice is Loose September for the Switch's online service. So it's going to take that long. If they haven't overhauled it completely from the ground up, when they finally show it, it's going to be face palms. It's going to be angry mob. That's all I'm going to say. We'll talk about it more on the Juice is Loose podcast on Monday. So tune in for that. And yeah, so everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next time.